What's up, y'all? What's up? Welcome to the show. I always call them special shows because they all special to me. But this one is special because on this show, we're going to get to link with the generation. Okay, they call them YNs. I like to call them YMs, but we love them regardless. And we just need to make sure that we leave a bridge open for these young people. So, welcome to the Pattern Disruption Podcast. This is the show where we break through the noise and we dive into the stories of those who've shaken up the game. I'm your host, Eric Rhymes, and every week I bring you real, raw conversations with entrepreneurs, educators, entertainers, and YMs, but all around creatives who went from the shadows to the spotlight. So if you're ready to see what it takes to rise above the rest, you're in the right place. Let's break some patterns and start the show. Today I got a couple of guests that's coming on. I got one YM. I call him YMs. He's a young man who is in college. He's actually a teacher. So he has a perspective because he teaches high schoolers. We're gonna get his perspective on the climate, the divide between us. And then I got my best friend, D Down, Dave Walker. If you don't know who he is, I'm gonna introduce him. But without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to my nephew. We affectionately call him KB, but his name is Kalani Brown. I'd like to welcome Kalani to the stage.
What's going on, man? Tycoon.
What's up, man? What's up?
What's happening, man? Appreciate you for having me, man.
Oh yeah, and I appreciate you being here, man. I don't know. We had a couple of other young people that were going to be on the show. They didn't follow through, and that's another thing about your generation. But see, I can't say because we used to be the same way. We just, we kind of would say stuff and didn't really mean it.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
Well,
like,
I'm glad to be advocating, for the generation who not showing up. I'm glad to be that face that shows up. Who on time, and I'm glad to be that face.
okay, most definitely. Well, I appreciate you being here today, man. Um, so I guess to get started, I want to do a introduction on my boy and my brother, my best friend, the Almighty Dollar. I'm gonna bring him in as well. We're gonna welcome him, give him a warm welcome to the show. What's up?
What up, though?
What up, man? What up?
What's happening? What's happening?
Everything good, man. What's up? What's up, nephew?
What up, dog?
You
Yeah.
good?
So
Yes,
Dave,
sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate you being here last minute. We already know, and you here what? You on what time are you on? You on like Pacific time, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yes. You 3 hours behind. I'm 2 hours behind, and then we're on different coasts. So,
We
but
making it happen.
we making it happen, man.
Yes,
Let's get it.
sir.
So I want to start with I want to welcome everybody to another episode. We're gonna keep it real and raw today. Today we're gonna have a conversation that's long overdue. We're gonna tap into the YMs, which are the young black men ages 15 to 24. We're gonna bridge the gap and break the silence and try to build a better bridge between the generations. So it's not a lecture, it ain't no judgment, it's just real talk. You know what I'm saying? I just want to understand and connect and just see how we can blend this and help y'all and y'all help us. Cause y'all were the ones who came up in the computer information age. We kind of come from, we come from the industrial age where
Yeah,
you got to
yeah,
work hard.
yeah, yeah.
But
For
that's
sure,
what
for
we're gonna do.
sure.
So Dave, you do a brief introduction on you, man.
Well, y'all know me. I've been in the music business all my life, basically. My mother played 11 instruments. The only other person I know that played that many instruments was Prince. So, I always loved, the band and, being in music. We had our time in high school, talent shows and things of that nature. Just living in the studio and producing music and stuff, and it was just like really my first love.
Yeah.
Music and cars are my go-to. So and those two things go together. So you know, I would be the one jumping in the front seat, trying to change the music every time mom got out the car, you know, kept the
Yeah,
music down, you know, putting on Too Short and you know what I'm saying, and Easy
yeah,
E and you
Yeah.
know all the different E40 and you know whatever was nice at that time, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I just followed music and I followed it all the way here to California. I ended up going to LA Film School and graduated from there. You know, worked on a couple different shows and did music for different comedy spots out here. Y'all probably know about the big comedy sets and stuff out here. Also did stand up for a minute um, here in Atlanta. So we had our time in Atlanta. You know, we brought the whole crew down to Atlanta. You know, we did our tour and stuff down there. You know, we hit up the BET Awards and, you
Mhm.
know, we did everything that we could as far as music to try to put Detroit on the map. You know, we did a lot of firsts, you know, first ones with the jackets, the Shark Music jackets. And uh, only other person I know that had jackets probably was what, Eshawn maybe?
Yeah.
Uh, and
Nephew know who Isham is.
that was 20
Oh,
years ago. But that was 20 years before we did it, and that was like the 80s. Way really way more longer than that. That was in the early 1980s and before the 90s and stuff. So most people probably wouldn't even remember that, but that's why we're here. We're here to bridge the gap. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's what it's about. And try to understand what the young men are trying to do as far as music goes. What's your outlook on life, and how can we connect it? Because it seems like it's been a disconnect for a real long time, and we just trying to bridge the gap.
So nephew, you definitely don't know who Isham is, right?
No, no, I don't.
And you do music.
I do.
So Dave, let me ask you something real quick. Why do you feel like our because this is one of my questions in here. As far as music, why do you feel like we didn't go nationwide as a crew?
Well, I'm gonna say one thing: timing is everything,
Okay.
and the most thing I can say is consistency.
Okay. Okay.
Consistency is everything. As you know, he tells me all the time. That's the biggest thing. You got
Yeah,
to stay consistent. We had a lot of off and on. We had a lot of, you know, different people that came in and out. You know, we always did it. You know what I mean? We would do it for free. It
Yeah.
wasn't even about the money for us, really. You know what I mean? But as far as to music is a business, that's the first thing. And a lot of people don't know that. Hold on, let me show you one of these books. That blue book right there, that's the first book they give you when you go to recording school. It's Music Business 101.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that. When they first get into the music business starts out like it's something fun to do. But music business is not fun. It's a lot of hard work and stuff behind it. And at that time, we didn't really have the internet and stuff in the beginning.
Yeah.
We kind of came on the internet later, where you could just put up your own video and you
yeah,
know put your own music and stuff out. You had to go through certain channels. You had to meet with certain people. You had to spend a lot of money. A video, you know, a video will cost you thousands and thousands of dollars just to shoot. You know, producers were a lot.
The internet actually came out what in '94.
Yeah, but uh the internet came out in 94, but it wasn't, camera phones weren't out then.
Yeah. Yeah. We just didn't
Camera
have none of
phones
the
didn't
stuff y'all.
come out to another decade later, really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was just like the exposure wasn't there.
Okay.
When the internet started, only really nerds knew about it.
Yeah.
If you weren't a straight A student in college or something like that, you didn't really know about the internet.
Yeah.
Internet were for like business people. IBM was like the first one to really kick it off. Remember IBM?
Yeah.
So when IBM kicked it off, it was like for business, people on Wall Street, uh, you know, uh, doing crunching numbers and things like that, or just trying to communicate with somebody that was across the seas. You might have a business partner in China or something like that. You're trying to communicate with them. It wasn't like today. Like all you see is music now. The main thing that you see on the internet, everybody has music, whether it's commercials, comedy, movies. Everything has music and stuff behind it. So it's a lot of different ways to make money from music. But back then, to get a record deal, you had to have a manager. You had to have a road manager. You had to go on tour. You had to be known in your city first, get on the radio first in your city, and then branch out. And that was kind of hard to do, even though we were in Motown. It was like almost unheard of. You see how now we got Detroit artists just like everywhere, where
Everywhere. Everywhere.
they're still in our sound now.
Yeah.
I hear it all out here.
Well, that's what I wanted to touch on because nephew, he started out in music, and
Right.
I remember telling him, I'm going to invest in you, and eventually I'm gonna back up to see what you're gonna do. And he kept going, but why do you feel like you haven't? Because Kalani, you got a thirst for making music. Why you feel like you ain't been successful and nationwide yet?
Um, a lot of again, what Dave just said, a lot of it is a consistency.
Yeah,
Um, and then just who I was, just like I guess my people, the people I was around, wasn't necessarily pushing me as hard as I probably wanted them to. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like, of course I had you, of course I had my moms, but when I would get ready to do stuff, whether it was music videos or coming to the studio, you know what I mean, or pictures or reposting stuff, I ain't had no, a lot of the support that I thought that I might have had, you know what I mean. So it
yeah,
probably discouraged me a lot of the times, you know what I'm saying. So
yeah.
definitely could the consistency, you know what I mean, and the people I was around, you know what I mean,
So they kind of it's the same thing. And then so timing is great because Dave said something about timing. Your
for sure,
timing right now is great. Um,
Yes.
but because they need content so bad everywhere.
for
You know what I'm
sure,
saying?
Content is king right now.
Yeah, it
yeah,
is. Well,
yeah.
so let me ask you this, nephew. What's something about you? How old are you?
23, 23.
23.
Yes,
So
sir.
I was looking at this. I don't know if y'all saw the guy on social media who was talking about the YN, which we're gonna call it YMs, was 15 to 25, and then
hmm
the big bro was 25 to 35.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and then
hmm
Unc was 35 to 45,
yeah,
Yeah.
and then OG was 45 to 55,
hmm
and the elders was 55 and up.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so with that day, we would be the OGs.
Definitely.
You definitely be the OGs, and that whole OG connotation. How do you feel about the YN connotation, nephew? You
I
consider
kind of,
yourself a YN?
you said, huh?
Do you consider yourself a YN?
Nah, nah, no, 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 no.
Good
No, but
answer.
I definitely think, man, that it's used too loosely. Um,
hmm
because I never really remembered a YN being a YN, like what they make it as, you know what I mean? I didn't remember that as that, So like I feel like they done turned it into something that was totally into some type of gang relation that was them, you know what I mean? And it just kind of hyped up. So I
It
really,
started in Atlanta.
you see what I'm saying? So
I was there at the time. Remember, I was living in Atlanta and stuff. So,
Yeah,
but Offset, off before when I first went down there, Offset was one of the first persons to say, "Let me hear that music." He like, "That's you." This before he blew up.
yeah,
yeah,
He bought my CD twice. He saw me one time at a gas station, and then he saw me another time at a barbershop. He said, I remember you, man. He said, man, give me another one of them CDs. And he bought another one. And I told him $15 the next time that I seen him. And this was just, it was written, my name was on it with, you
Yeah.
know, with the number and stuff on it. He was like, you only charged me $5 last time. I said, the price went up. And he bought it. He bought it again. Matter of fact, he gave me a 20, and I said, I ain't got no more change. Because I said, I ain't got no change. And he just gave me the 20. But he kept in contact with me. So fast forward to here. I see Offset on I see Offset in California in a Rolls Royce Wraith, and he yelling out the window, and the first thing he yelled out is, I'm out of space with it. All I could do is laugh and smile, and I knew that my music meant something at that point.
Yeah.
But they were the crew that started the young, young rich, they started that era. They came under Gucci Man, but Gucci Man was in a lot of trouble at that time. So when he was in and out of jail, he couldn't do nothing with him. So then P was coming up at that time and doing a lot of management. And then that's when they went with them. They went with QCP. And they went with quality control, and they end up coming up with that. And it was just a thing going around Atlanta and stuff. So you knew it.
Okay.
It was the thing. It was the people with the money. So just like the chain you got on now, everybody started rocking those chains. It wasn't the big chains no more. It wasn't the long chains. Because back in the day, the longer the chain was, it was the better.
Yeah.
So it was tighter chains, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was the dreads, but it was the small dreads. They didn't even have their hair was just like his right now.
Yeah.
When I remember them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they started hitting up the road. So, and that was the music. That was their sound.
But that's the way why
To be young and rich.
Okay.
Not trouble, like he said, not what they making it out to be now.
Exactly.
So now it's used as a derogatory term. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't what they were going for. It was all about being young and getting money.
Exactly.
So nephew, what's something that you think people that's misunderstood about you when people first meet you?
Misunderstood about me, I would say, people tend to think that I'm maybe I guess I could say I guess I could use the word immature because I don't want to say childish, but people might think that I'll be playing a lot. You know what I'm saying? But
And why
that's
you say
something.
that? Do you because you smiling all the time?
I think that's why, because I was even my boss, she was telling me like. She was like, why you always smiling? People don't like when you be smiling. And I'm like, dang, like it just blew me.
Yeah, it's
Like
a different world.
it really blew me. Like I'm like, dang,
Yeah.
people don't like.
You can't
And she
smile no more, right?
you
Yeah, it's
can't
crazy.
smile. Like, so that's why I'm like, dang, maybe people think I be playing too much just off of just me smiling, off of just like, just because I just be smiling. That's just my main facial expression. You know what
You
I'm
happy
saying?
about life. You supposed to be
Exactly.
smiling.
Exactly. So my boss told me that. You know what I mean? My supervisor, she had told me that like a month
Wow.
ago.
Okay. Yeah. See, I never heard that. Like they
Yeah.
don't want you to smile. Now frowning, I used to get that. You need to smile, you look mean and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
it has a lot to do with being dark skinned too. So
Correct.
dark skin kind of get you. I don't know if you deal with it now, but dark skin when you first come in, I tried to smile to kind of let people guard down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't on
Okay.
that. Might look a certain way, but I ain't on that. Because you just don't know what people be on. But okay,
Correct.
so you say the one thing people misunderstand is that blah, blah, blah. One thing that people misunderstand about you is that because you smile, you immature.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me say this. If you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would you say that would be?
Three words: respectful, for sure. Um, Definitely integrity. Um, and I would just I say just outgoing. Respectful, integrity, outgoing. Because man, I'm always about in the end of the, even if I'm planning anything, in the midst of it all, I'm always trying to do the right thing at the end of the day. I always wanted to be safe. I always wanted, anytime I'm doing anything, I always wanted it to be good outcomes on any side, any type of time, in any situation, with any circumstance. So I'm all about giving mutual respect, doing the right thing when ain't nobody looking, you know what I'm saying? And just having a good time. I guess that's why I'm always smiling, because that's all that's what kind of what my morals be based off of.
Who you feel like you got that from?
I got that from my mama, for sure. That's for sure my mom all day. Um, she just a wonderful human, and that's definitely somebody that I look up to. And I was just telling her that even that a lot of that is my mom. I was telling her that a lot of the males that she put in my life would rather that be my uncle, my dad, my stepfather, any of these other males that done leveled me up and molded me into the guy I am, who I am today. That's all her. You know what I mean? And it's all a village, and that's a lot of it. And that's what I be preaching in the schools, that it need to be more of a village than just this, the disconnect off bail with older people and young people, period. Like, it ain't
Most
even like
definitely.
music, you know what I mean? Like, it's just older people and young people off bail. Like, it's a big old gap, you know what I'm saying?
So you work with young people though, and so tell people what you do in the school.
I started off doing parapro TA, and well, I really started off coaching, because I was living in California for a little while, and I came back, and I was doing a lot of research on my people, and just learning and putting knowledge in my brain. And I wanted to give back, you know what I mean? So I said I want to deal with the youth in some way, somehow, because they coming up next. So I want to teach them what ain't nobody teach me, or what people did teach me. You know what I mean? Maybe I ain't got a bad side. Maybe I could tell them that it's a good side, and it ain't always gotta be, you know, hardships. You can, excuse me, you can still, even in the midst of all of the distractions and all that, you can still come out and do everything you want to do. Maybe you hear all the rap you hear, you can still do all that, but it can still be done the right way though. You ain't gotta do no outlandish anything that they saying in the songs. You ain't gotta be a YN. You know what I mean? You could be you. You know what I mean? With all of that, everything. It's just a certain way. It's all about how you do things. It's all about it's all about the right. It's because I'm trying to explain it in a
No, you good.
in a way that that everybody could get it. Like, I want everybody to get it.
How would you say it to your students?
Man, how would I say it to the students? Because my students, all they talk about is switches, and I'm telling you, fifth grade. I'm talking about fifth graders. I'm not even talking about middle schoolers or high schoolers. I'm talking about elementary school, elementary
It's
kids.
was it indoctrination?
Indoctrinate. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, all they talk about
Crazy.
is backdoor slime and all of this stuff.
What's back door? I ain't here.
Set
But
up.
being getting set up, your
Getting set up
homeboy,
by a
being
girl.
Back door
being
somebody.
yeah,
Yeah.
being, whether it be a girl acting like she like you, or your man's acting like he your friend, and any
Oh,
of that. You know what I mean? Just to get to whatever you got. You know what I'm saying? They gonna slime you out or backdoor you. You know what I mean? Snake you.
yeah.
So a lot of that is and especially last year, and it was big with eighth grade, was stealing, and a lot of that backdoor, and just being real shisty about things and stuff like that. And I was telling them, like that's not the way to go, because you move like that, you burn bridges like that. You know what I mean? A lot of people, you don't know where people going. And a lot of my friends, like from Cranbrook, I'm still in touch with them guys, and a lot of them females. Like I ain't never burned them bridges, because you never know who them people might turn out to be. You know what I mean? So you backdooring, sliming people, that's never the right way to go. You know what I
Don't
mean?
F up any connects.
So Dave had this abbreviation he used to use back in the day. What was it?
Don't F up any connects. Defects.
Defacts.
Defect.
Don't F up any connects.
Facts.
Yeah.
Still use it to this day.
You
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah. You never know who you might need down the line.
I'm telling you.
So did you learn that from experience, nephew, or did you, or how you know that?
Definitely from experience, man. It's countless of times where I needed folks. You know what I mean? That, I definitely needed folks who I didn't think I was gonna need. You know what I mean? I'm glad that that we always, even if we did have a discrepancy, I'd always mend, the connection, and it'll always make it even stronger. You know what I mean? When you go through something and you able to come out of it in a good way. You know what I mean? And together, and you know what I mean? And it's a growing and learning process, and it really makes the relationship strong. So I definitely done been in situations where I needed that person who I could have been like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it could have just been south. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely a witness of a lot of stuff when it could go wrong and it could go bad. I done needed people when it done went bad
Yeah.
too. You know what I mean?
That's the key thing. Any situation, always leave it on a good note.
For
Even
sure.
if they did you wrong.
For
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? It's always
Yeah.
good to leave things on a good note, because
For
people
sure.
change. People make
Correct.
mistakes. You know what I
Correct.
mean? So um, a person might need you later, or you might need them later, and it's always about love. Long as you went into the situation with love, and you was 100 with it,
Mm-hmm.
that's all that matters. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think a lot of the youth nowadays, they don't think past the moment. So when
Correct.
you talk to the students and stuff, they're telling they got to think for the future, because they only thinking about today and what they can get now and what they can do now, and that's why everything is so short lived. They crashing out
Right.
now because they don't see a future. They don't see the future with them in it, and it's done by design. But tell them, like you've been telling them, they can change it. And also, the only way they should have a shiesty on, yeah, a ski mask, if they going skiing. If they don't know how to ski, there's no reason for no young men to have no mask on.
Yeah,
COVID been over.
they can't even be around me with all that.
You're not even wearing nothing for your health. You wearing something that can get you killed.
Let
Just
me
that
Exactly.
alone.
let me,
Exactly.
let me ask you this, nephew.
Uh-huh.
So a day at your job, you walk in and you just follow them. Are you teaching a class or are you?
So yeah. So again, like I had started off coaching at the boxing gym. Um, then I started TAing, so parapro and TAing, being a teacher assistant, just in the classroom, being assigned to a specific grade. I started off in middle school, and then as I started substituting, because of how short staff the education system is, I was just bouncing around every classroom. So now I'm at all ages. So I just gradually I got to know every grade, piece by piece, each day or each week. So I really became an on-call floater. For real is what I said, is what I kind of like said my job was.
But I'm saying, are you doing lesson plans for them or are you
Oh,
literally?
no, 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 no. I'm not doing lesson plans or none of that. I'm really just doing whatever the teacher leave. I just piggyback off what they doing from right there.
You will sit in a class for the whole period.
Yeah, I sit for the whole day. For the whole day. The whole day.
So overall, what do you think about this generation that you teaching overall? Like, I mean, we love the kids coming up, but what do you think about them overall?
Oh man, they moving backwards, man. They moving backwards, and it's some that's trying, and uh,
And they
it's it's
outnumbered.
it's they outnumber almost, man, because a lot of them just so clouded, and I ain't gonna I don't want to say brainwashed, but like it's just like they not focused on. They not thinking about like they thinking about right now. Like Dave just said, they not thinking about tomorrow or the future or high school or none of that. They
Yeah,
don't.
Let me guess. Every last one of them have a cell phone.
Every last one of them. Every
yeah,
last one of them.
That's the
They
problem right
they
there.
not thinking about no. I give them work. I try to do work with eighth grade. I try to man. They want to do TikToks. They want to do. They want to go live. They want to be on Instagram. They want to be on the phone. They want to call their cousins. They want to play basketball in the class. I mean, they want to do whatever that's not
Productive.
propelling them to be exactly productive. They not focused on that, And it's something that is, and I congratulate every kid that tried. You know what I mean? And it's some that then turned over a little bit. That see because they see how I move and they see why. Like I tell them all the time, like when Cranbrook came up and when Cranbrook came up to the school and when Jalen Rose came up to the school in eighth grade, they did the eighth grade pep rally and the dean and Dr. Taylor and Miss Gatlin and everybody seen me and they called me to the podium to speak and all that. And they think Mr. Brown is just some, cool. I come in there. I'm just the gap. The age gap so small. I'm like big bro. I'm big brother.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying. I'm big cuz. So you
Don't
know what
look
I
at
mean.
you. They don't look at you like a teacher.
They don't really look at me like it. They look at me like big homie. You know what I mean? Or that's just big.
Yeah,
That's big bro. That's all they look at me as. You know what I mean? But I'll drill it into them, and they seen that how I'm all about that. I'm all about making myself better and leveling up and making them connections and building these good bonds, you know what I mean, and being a great face in the audience and in the people in public, you know what I mean, and I keep my pants pulled up, you know what I mean, and I tuck my shirt in with certain outfits, you know what I'm saying, and I wear different shoes on different days, and I'm not always in J's, and I put glasses on, you know what I mean, and I switch it up, and I tell them about my college, and I tell them about what I done,
yeah,
where I came from and how I did it and the people that done helped me. And I'm an alumni of the school. So it's just, I tell them about the village that built me and who to connect with in the school. I tell them all that. I let them know.
yeah,
I let them know so they could see that even though I may look like a YN and I know I listen to maybe I turn up to Babyface Ray and I know the whole song, but I still be by my business and I take care of the business at the same time. I can still wear what they wear, vibe how they vibe, but I still make sure my job is done. I make sure the job get done.
Do you feel like school when you was coming up was this bad?
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh
we
heck
going
no.
backwards, bro.
Oh no,
Yeah.
man. Oh heck no, man. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Too
It's
much
terrible.
information.
It's too much. It's too much. These kids think they grown. I'm
Yeah.
talking about a lot of the stuff I experienced with the kids, like really acting out, don't even be eighth grade, seventh grade. It's like sixth, fifth, fourth grade. Like they like it's damaged, bro. That's damaged. It's really damaged.
We were spoon fed knowledge and information as youth, even you. So if you look at
Yeah.
it like remember when you went to from fifth grade to sixth grade, that was a big deal. You
Yeah,
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to middle school now. And then when you
Yeah.
went from eighth grade to ninth grade, that was an even bigger deal.
Yeah,
Same thing with college. When you went from high school to college, now it's just like they have information to everything, so they don't have to wait. They don't have to wait for anything. So I
yeah,
understand what you're saying.
yeah.
So they're not looking for the things that's gonna help them. They're looking at what's popular or
Exactly.
what they think is cool because
Exactly.
it's they're seeing the masses doing it, they're seeing it around them, and they are looking at that as like, I want to learn more about that. And
Right.
that's the problem. And most of this starts at in the home.
Correct. And that's what I
Most
be telling my coworkers.
most parents in most probably single uh parent homes, they
Yeah.
have no idea what their kid knows and the thing that they look at on a
Exactly.
daily basis. They
Exactly.
Because you said
just
because
give
of that
them a
phone.
phone, and as long as they're out of their way, they're not even checking to see what's going on. And by the
Exactly.
time they find out, it's too late. They're on the news.
Yeah.
So it's too far
So
gone.
Nephew.
for a long time, well, let me say this last thing.
Right.
For a long time, I told my daughter's mother I did not want my child to have a cell phone until she was about to graduate. So
Yeah. Facts.
she thought differently. I saw a total change in my child once she got that cell phone. You really can't monitor it. You a mother would think that they can monitor it, but as men, we know better. They're gonna find a way to to look at the things that they want to look at, and they're gonna find out how to look at the worst things that they can possible because it's just curiosity. And they're hearing about it in school. And if they can't look at it on theirs, they're probably going to be around somebody else that's going to teach them how to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And then if they
cell
don't have a
phones in
cell
school should
phone,
be banned.
you say what?
Period. Cell phones in schools should be banned. Period.
Yeah.
There's no place for cell
Well, we
phones.
want, we want the convenience now.
Mm-hmm.
Your
Knowing
kid,
where your kid is at.
you should know where your kid is supposed to be at school, and that's it.
Yeah.
You supposed to be picking up your kid from school, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no reason for a kid to have a cell phone in school. For one, it's taken away from learning. For
So what
two,
what you think a good age is to get a cell phone?
a good age to get a cell phone, I say maybe 16, because you learn how to drive. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know, you learn how to drive. So 15, 16 maybe. You know what I mean? Say a year before you learn how to drive or something, because you kind of responsible then. Once you get to 15, you should
Yeah.
pretty much, and you know the difference between right and wrong. You're not gonna get in too much trouble. If you've been getting in trouble already, you're gonna get in trouble around 13. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But
Well, if anybody is new on the live, I got Dave, I got Kalani, and then myself. We talking
Man.
about the trying to bridge the gap between the younger generation and us as what are we? We the OGs.
yeah,
So we trying to bridge the gap between the YMs and the older generation. Been talking
yes,
to my nephew. He works in Detroit. Now it's not Detroit, it's his charter school, but he works in the charter schools with the young people. And from his perspective on this, we not looking good, man. We not looking good. And we already
yeah,
know that because we can look at the way the young people are. We see young people, all we got to do is look at the internet. The
yep,
internet is a barometer of where we are as a society. Um,
yes.
I wanted to ask you, nephew, what's something that you wish older people would understand about y'all?
Uh, what I think they should understand. I think a lot of folks should understand that. Although it's a great amount of folks, young folks, uh, fitting the description. it's also another great amount of folks who young folks who really out here pushing peace and pushing the right movement and doing what they supposed to do. And I know a lot of guys. Shouts out to May Cause Nausea, man, and Jibo and Good Vision. They doing a lot of good work, man. Those some of my young cats I just connected with. My guy Seaworth, they doing a lot of great things with the fashion. You know, they just had Culture downtown on Griswold shut down. They did a big thing at White Ceilings that was sponsored by Red Bull. So my guys is really pushing it through. Seaworth getting it in on down at why can't I think of the
You
place?
said may cause what?
Maykause. So so if you type that in on Instagram, all of the things I just said be in his bio, and you could just
Okay.
click the ads.
Then you got Seaworth and who else?
Seaworth, SEE_WORTH,
Okay.
Seaworth on Instagram. He doing fashion. My guys may cause nausea. They out there doing fashion, uh, filming. My Good Vision, GUDVSVSNON.
Okay.
Good Vision, GUD. Yeah, I know it's GUDV for sure. Good Vision, but it's like an I out of it missing though. But yeah,
But you feel like the older generation should understand that all y'all not on the y'all not fitting the description of the YN that's going
no,
across.
no,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, no,
What do you think that really made you go? Because you could have went. Your mom and daddy not together.
no, no.
Your dad lives in another state.
Correct.
He's solid and he handles his business. Shout out to Quali.
Shouts
Uh,
out.
then your mom. Shout out to my sister. She's on her business. She
Love
don't
to
play
know.
about you or none of my nieces or
No,
nephews.
no. Big
Uh,
shouts out.
what do you feel like was because you could have went? I don't know if you got too many. That's going. See, the thing is, one thing I notice about you too. Kids need somebody that they don't want to disappoint.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Correct.
Even me being on social media, I got my uncles. I'm 49 years old, and my uncles,
Yeah.
they on social media. My auntie on social media. I can't do certain stuff because of them, and I'm 49.
Right.
Not to say I'm gonna be crazy and outlandish, but
Right.
it's
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
great, but I wouldn't say it in front of
Just
them.
out of respect.
It's just out of
Correct.
so that's a major thing. But what do you feel like was one of the things that made it where you didn't go totally overboard and mess your life up? Because you got a cousin who ended up getting locked up
I do. I do.
that you was close to.
Yes. Free my cousin, man. Yeah, man. A lot of the what it is I want to say is just me being so I guess cultured. You know what I mean? Because first of all, my dad, he made the big shift to go move to California. You know what I mean? So a lot of the times off the rip from like 4 years old, I'm not even in Detroit. You know what I mean? Two, 3 times out the year. From
It's
like
different.
then all the way to high school. So I'm doing that every year. So I'm not even here.
Mhm.
The a full I've never really been here a full year in Detroit. You know what I mean? Because I'm always gone months on end. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that was a big old reason of why I wasn't even, a lot of times even
Mhm.
when I come back from California, like I wouldn't even know like songs that my homies be rapping. Like I was out of tune. A lot of times I would be out of tune. You know what I mean? So I couldn't relate. You know what I mean? So I couldn't even get the grit that people had or the chip on their shoulder that they felt that they had. You know what I mean? Or the the pride that they felt like they had to prove something. You know what I mean? Like I felt like, I was already laid back. You know what I mean? I
You
was
saw
like,
more to life. You
Yeah.
saw
exactly,
something different.
Yeah.
exactly. Then I get to choir, you know what I mean? So I'm in the choir. Shouts out to Miss Key, you know what I mean? She got me on TV. I'm seeing Ellen. I'm out in Disney World. I'm performing. You know, that right there was another big old America's Got Talent. I'm on the news every day. I'm thinking, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so it was just like I was always seeing and being exposed to stuff way different than the average kid raised on Mac and Rones. You know what I mean? Raised on Mac and Bewick. I wasn't seeing that. You know what I wasn't seeing a lot of the stuff that was going on. So
Yeah.
I ain't get that side. You know what I mean? I had another side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Um, no, that's a major thing. Proximity and who you're around.
Correct.
Man,
Yeah,
Correct.
because
big deal.
one of the young people that I was supposed to have on here, he is from here in Nashville. Uh, um, shout out to Kylan. He gonna be on here, but he was raised here, so he got a whole different perspective of being young. Like he just be chilling. Like he don't have no chip on his shoulder or nothing. Like you, you know, but he got his locks down. He working at the mall and he
Yeah.
just living.
Yeah.
Detroit kids do, and then most inner cities, they have, and when I say inner cities, I'm talking about those, you know, you deep off in New York, you deep off in Atlanta, some parts of LA and all out there. It's some areas where all they know is that level of intensity and people getting
Yeah.
killed and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Project mentality.
Yeah,
Correct.
Memphis, you know, yeah,
Chicago. All
yes,
that.
you know, Chicago. Let me ask you this. As far as, I guess, Dave, you got Cassinet, you got all these streamers. What? How do you feel like? Where do you feel like the internet is going? Because you young.
So I think that it's oversaturated and it's being, it's almost like they trying to rot the brain. You know what I mean? It's brain rot. You know, they clip farming. You know what I mean? I just got hip to clip farming. See, I ain't even know that. You know what I'm saying? Clip
Tell
farming.
us
I
about it.
felt old. I felt old when I'm like, so
Tell
now I
us
know
what that
people.
is. Tell us about it.
So clip farming, you know what I mean? People be doing stuff just for the clip. You know what? They need a clip to go viral. You know what I
Right.
mean? So they do almost humiliation ritual type style. Like they just like do something. And that's Cassinet. Popping fireworks in the that's like me popping fireworks off right here, right now. This would go viral. Somebody be like, look at this
Right.
podcast. This guy crazy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Right.
it's just like, you know what I mean? So that's what they do now. They want to do something so crazy that somebody films it and posts it everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's it's like a drug. You know what I
All
mean?
for
So
attention. And it is a drug.
electric opioid.
It is a drug.
Yeah.
It is a drug. It's addictive.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you listen to Jay-Z said the biggest drug he ever knew was fame.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that's deep. He like, man, I ain't never want to be famous. I seen what it did to people. You
yeah.
know, for somebody that famous to say that gotta say a lot, man.
No,
Yeah.
I agree with that because if you have something go viral and you get all these comments and all this, and especially if this is what you're trying to do,
Yeah.
I think we lost nephew. You got to respond to all that, and then
Right.
those comments become something else, and now you find yourself just stuck on this platform or
Right.
whatever platform. Nephew gone. Yeah, but he said clip farming, humiliation rituals, electric opioids. What the hell?
What the hell?
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh, I can't hear.
You can't. Yeah, we lost you for a minute.
Everything is shock value now.
Yeah, yeah. And you, Dave, you came from a background where you could have went either way too. But you had,
Man.
yeah, but you know, but you had people in your life you know, our friendship, I know that helped you a lot because it definitely
Exactly.
helped me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and but your background was crazy, and I think one of the things that
Super crazy.
we got in common, all three of us, is that we had people in our corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's missing now that we had that they don't have?
What's that?
Real grandmothers.
Yeah. See, he got to
The
get.
the what is it? The matriarch of the family,
Yep.
the one that keeps it all together, the one that everybody respects, the one that keeps the order, the one everybody respects.
Yeah.
You know,
The one you
my
don't want to let.
grandmother wouldn't be doing no
You want to
TikTok
always be
dancing.
proud of you.
Yeah,
That's your grandma. Like you
You
don't
know
want to
what I mean?
let her down.
for real. Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Grandmothers now, they're uh they 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 backing that thing up now.
Yeah.
They want to. I'm serious, man. I mean, I hate to say it, but
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
like that though.
they're on the internet, half dressed. You know,
Yeah,
it's a different type of grandmother now.
Yeah.
So you like my grandmother is
My
on.
grandma want to go viral.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of your grandma going viral, his grandma went viral.
exactly, exactly. Shouts out to the dime. Shouts out to the dime piece, man. Shout out to the.
Shout out to the dime piece,
You
man.
know what I mean? Y'all go
Wow.
do your homework, man, on the dime piece, man.
Yeah.
That's my granny, man. That's my granny.
Who is your favorite streamer, Kalani?
My favorite streamer, I probably I probably ain't got one at the moment, but if I was to say there's somebody that I'm always tuning into, at a point in time, I was tuning in. I was rocking with a lot of the with Wallow and Gil. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
was always rocking out with Wallow and Gil.
yeah.
Even some of the good. Shouts out Shannon Sharp, man. Shouts out Shannon Sharp, man. I was rocking with Shay Shay.
Hold up.
I was rocking with some of them podcasts, man. When I got Cat, you know what I mean? There was some good podcasts on there, man. There was some
So
good.
who is Zay Brinks?
Who that is?
That's a streamer. I was doing my research.
I ain't hip on Zay Brinks.
So you know who DDG is, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm hip. He from Pontiac.
Okay, I ain't know
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, he from
Yeah.
Pontiac.
Do you feel like streaming is the next wave?
Yeah, because I feel like people want to be now. They want to be so like because that's the new like. Because when making content, you want to make the viewers feel close to you. You know what I mean? You want them to feel more. You want it to be immersive, interactive. You want it to be like you right there. You know, so going live. It started with going live. It was COVID, dog. Soon as COVID came and going live went crazy, all you got to do is put up a camera and press record and go live and boom, you making
Okay,
money.
let me give y'all the truth. Y'all ready for the truth?
What's happening with the truth?
Y'all know what streaming is, right?
It's soul selling.
You a
He gonna walk
slave.
away when he say that. He dropped the mic.
Basically, they gonna get you to work all day for free, and they gonna sell your your content, and they gonna advertise on your content, but you only gonna get a fraction of a penny for it. Same thing with music.
Oh yeah.
So they're
Mm,
gonna get you. They're gonna get you to do everything. Now it's all about the business. Now remember what I said. It all comes back to business. So
yeah.
you got to make sure your business and stuff is structured right. I'm not gonna say streaming is gonna be a bad thing or it's a bad thing like that.
Uh-huh.
But most of the people that do it now, just look at it now. How many people get paid to be on the internet? Raise your hand.
Yeah, yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's what it's about now. So you getting paid to be on the internet, but see, we getting paid to be on the internet. How many people not getting paid to be on the internet?
Yeah.
But those same advertisements are being sold. So now it's to the point where they got to have 24/7. There's nowhere else to go. We got live, we got videos, we got YouTube. There's nowhere else to go but just 24/7, just of whatever. And it came from basically TikTok. So you remember how TikTok is, it's just people just on there just all day playing games or whatever they're doing. They just, it's people on there that just cook, or what's the girl that went viral? She eats stuff, eat fake stuff, and she make the fake voice and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
They got people like her.
Yeah, it's so much you can go viral for.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, but our thing is different than here in China. That's why it's good to travel. Now, China TikTok, they're learning. They're figuring out how to work out. They learning new math. They are learning how to build, cars and, construction, and they're learning everything. Ours is strictly for
Entertainment
purposes.
Yeah.
And the wrong kind of entertainment purposes.
At that.
So, because there's no regulation over here. See, people think regulation is a bad thing, but look at our society and look at theirs. They're advancing.
Yeah.
We going backwards.
Yeah.
At a fast rate.
At a fast rate, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
A Chinese child will run circles around a child from America right now. I don't care where. From the suburbs to anywhere. If you take a group of children from China and you put them up against, I don't care anywhere in America, those kids are going to outsmart those kids 100% over. And that's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, what's something that you would change about Detroit if you could, nephew?
If I could, something I could change about Detroit if I could. I mean, it's a lot of stuff you could change, man. That you could try to change this, you could try to change that. It's always a rebel, you know what I mean? So it's like I necessarily wouldn't want the answer for me wouldn't be what to change. It would be what is the common ground? What can we all come to agreement on, as a whole? You know what I'm saying? Because it's too much, it's too many chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be a boss. It's not enough Indians and workers, and it's no support. You know what I mean? Don't nobody want to be a worker. Nobody wants to be in 2025, everybody want to be an entrepreneur, big boss, big CEO, big Jeff Bezos. Like, so I wouldn't even want to change nothing because you know what I'm saying? I would want to see what is the root cause of whatever we got going on. You know what I mean? So I guess with the YNs, you know what I mean? Like that's why I'm glad that they got the combing. They just redid the combing. You know what I mean? Like we need more stuff like that. You know what I mean? We need
That was
more.
a big part for me. That saved me a lot.
That was big.
You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? We need more inner city recreational things to do. You know what I mean? More male advocates out here in the neighborhood. Just like I was loving the preacher who was like he was in chains, like he was in Atlanta, dog, and he had like chains. He'd pull up vets, all type of scat pack, everything. But he was like, he'd come out and like preach and do services right in the hood. Like you could see his little holster on him and everything. Like he was transparent. You know what I mean? Like he was in it. You know what I mean? And he was right there with them. You know what I mean? And I feel like we need a lot more inner community stuff. You know what I mean? Like we need more of these rappers to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like they kind of the who they, you know, they the mayor now. You know what I mean? And they the people who will get the people attention and like, hey, do this. You know what I mean? So like some of these rappers, you know what I mean? You know how many people, you know, if 42 Doug started having like annual basketball games or something like that, like every like, I don't know, twice a month, you know what I'm saying? Like how much that'll gain traction, like, or like, I don't know, skating events, anything, you know what I mean? Like just to keep the young, because that all only people who listen to them is young folks, because y'all not listening to y'all don't know any 42 Doug songs by off bail, you know what I mean? Like by word for word.
We do, bro. Yes, we do.
I was at his first album
You do?
release party.
Yeah, we do.
You do?
Yeah, we know 42
Yeah.
Doug. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
ain't say
know
you ain't know
42
who he
Doug.
was. I said a song word for word.
Well,
I mean, which
hey.
one? We could do this. How I go?
You
That
forget
boy
we
whistled.
you forget we do music, right?
I
No.
ain't say, okay, well,
I was at 42 Doug first album release party here.
well,
So think about that. So that should tell you something.
What I'm
We
saying
know 42 Doug, bro.
all right, OG. Don't, all right, OG.
we know who hot and who not.
so
All right, OG. OG say he tuned in.
listen, speaking of that OG and that, so y'all generation, man, y'all are more. So it's funny because it's the thing where y'all generation has been taught to be more emotional, talk about it, go get counseling, um, um, you know, express your feelings more and more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do you feel like that's been good for y'all, or do you feel like it should be a little tougher? Where, because we got whooped in school. You ever been whooped in school?
No,
Wow.
but
They can't do it now. They didn't turn that. There you go to
no,
jail now.
I done seen some of my homies that got whooped in school. Like, dang, his mama ain't playing. My mama
No,
that came in.
I ain't talking about the mama doing it. I'm talking about the teacher used to do it.
Oh no. Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah.
you would go
No.
to jail now.
Yeah, that's a no. That ain't happening.
You can't even imagine that, can you?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's I can't. I can't, especially nowadays. Man,
Man,
you
I
going to the
remember
bottom of the
our
jail.
mothers would tell the teacher, if he act up, you got my permission.
Yeah,
Wow.
maybe the coach. You know what I mean? I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I done seen coach rough up a kid, you know what I mean? Hey dog, get it together. You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Brown, Principal Brown.
Man, we got some I ain't even see this. We got some comments. Oh, okay. The Hungry Gemini Transporter said 100. Oh, your mom. Shout out to Tanya, man.
What up, Tanya, man?
What
Hey,
up, though?
hey, Miss Butler. What up, though?
Monica said definitely. I don't know exactly what she was talking to, but I'm catching up, y'all. If any more comments come through, I'm catching up. Kamiko said, hell no, he didn't. I don't know exactly what that was.
That probably was that folks who does shit.
I can't really whistle, but I know the whistle.
She sit in the class with her son. What, she didn't came and sat in one of your classrooms?
Yeah, she done did that. I was just about to say that. Like she done, that's probably the most
Okay.
that I got. You know what I'm saying? But
That's a
that itself,
that's a
that
parent.
was enough to embarrass me right there. That was
That's a
enough to
parent.
keep me
That's a
away
parent.
from doing the wrong thing for sure, for sure. You know what I mean? The
If
whole day.
if every parent did that once or twice, the whole outlook would be different right now.
Yeah.
That's a good one right there.
Because
Well,
like you said, you know, people need somebody who they don't want to disappoint. You know what I mean?
Yep, you said it.
yeah. Kamiko, you know, she was one of the part of your village, man. You know who Miss Butler is?
Yeah, for
Yep,
sure. Shouts out Miss Butler all the time.
yep.
Yeah. And she said, oh yeah, you had a whole village, man.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Still to this day.
No school whoopings, man. I can't even, man, listen. Miss West over at L Home, shout out to her. I don't know if she's still
Shout out
around,
Miss West.
but Miss West put, oh God, she caught us going down the wrong stairway and going out the back door. And when we got down to the back door, it was locked. She was standing at the top of the stairs. I never forget it.
Yeah, come on back.
Yeah, we had to walk back up the stairs. She took
That
us
walk of
straight to her
shame.
room. Listen, the light wasn't even on. The light was still off in the classroom. She was so fired up to whoop
Yeah,
us. She never cut the light on, so we was in the dark.
yeah.
You know how the classroom used to be? It was
I remember.
only
I
light
remember.
would come
Yeah.
through the window on the door,
Yep.
and we
Yep.
in there with just that paddle going at us, man.
Oh man.
I can't imagine not having that. You need somebody to be
Yeah.
that you don't want to disappoint, and then
Yes.
you need checks and balances on everything. You need,
Yes.
you
Kids do
know,
not. You can't. A world without discipline is the world that we have now. Kids
yep,
can just run wild and just do whatever because they know they're not gonna get in trouble.
Exactly.
If
Ain't
it's
no
not nothing
discipline.
that they scared of or getting in trouble, uh, what's to stop them? I
yeah,
That part.
remember Principal Brown, my brother. Shout out to Dr. Speaks, DeAndre Riley, Pastor DeAndre Riley. You know, he just got another notch on his belt. So shout out to my brother, Pastor Riley, Mr. Brown. But he wrote about Leslie Brown in his book, Principle of Joyce.
yeah. I remember Mr. Brown.
When the lady teachers couldn't handle me,
Oh man.
I had to go to Mr. Brown's office, and I had to sit in there, and he would make me sit in there all day. But before the day was out, that paddle was coming out for
Yeah.
embarrassing those ladies like that, for acting out in the class. So this is something we don't do anymore. You got to separate the one that's acting out, or the class clown, or the one that's causing commotion in the school. Send them to the man, or if it's a female, send them to the lady in school that's gonna say, "Hey, you gonna sit here with me until I can get you to your mama." Because
Well,
then your mother got to come up, or your father got to come up.
we
Yeah.
don't have any more male administrators in school now.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, Kalani, how
It's
many men are
got
in
to
the
be.
school where you work at,
Uh,
or where you was working at?
in administrative, I would say it was about three, four,
Okay.
about
And all
yeah,
them
about
kids.
four.
Yeah, and that's including you, right?
No,
Okay. So y'all
that's
got,
just cool. That's just including like the
Shout out to
principal.
Mr. Brown.
You know what I mean? The prince, because I'm boots on the ground. I'm boots on the ground. You know what I mean? Principal, he doing other stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So you got the principal. He that's that's one of the males. The CEO, he one of the males. Uh, two of the deans.
see people that's on the floor with the kids every day.
Oh yeah, nah, yeah. So it's just me and Mr. Cuffy. Shouts out
It's
Mr.
just
Cuffy, man. Shouts out Mr.
yeah,
Cuffy, dog. For real,
Two
for real.
with all those boys.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
It's not enough.
it's not enough,
not
man.
enough at all.
And then they can't make examples out of them. See, that's the thing. If somebody get too unruly, Kalani can't make an example out of them and say, hey, I'll show you who boss,
I can't.
because they're not even gonna allow that. He'll get fired.
It's no consequences.
And
At
then
all.
Yeah,
remember, in high school we had OT and Hightower.
yep,
Man, you ever been punched in the chest by one of them?
yeah,
OT and Hightower was what, 6'4", 6'5". Cut the grass with a lawnmower. Cut King football field with a lawnmower. A
yeah,
push lawnmower at that.
yeah.
Not a riding lawnmower. He would do that just on every other weekend. Man, get punched in the chest by one of those guys. It'll make you think twice about, trying
Yeah,
to come
yeah.
up against an adult. or disrespecting somebody that they like, you know.
Yeah.
So we need authority figures, and I think that's the biggest thing. Um, how do you feel, Kalani, about having like group meetings and authority figures in the school? Like, how do you think that would help or impact the children that's coming up now?
I definitely think that need to be implemented, man. A lot of focus groups, you know what I mean, just to touch bases with a lot of, you know what I mean, of these young guys, man, because you know, they got stuff they go through. It's reasons why they do the things they do, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's answers to these problems, you know what I mean? It's roots to these problems, you know what I mean? So those would definitely help maybe like three times out the week after school, maybe
Right,
had or before school or sometime in between, you know what I mean? Some type of time for when
right,
a older male, you know what I mean, advocate come in and you know what I mean with a group of the guys who may have trouble every other week, you know what I mean, or every other day, you know what I mean. He getting, you know, he clowning, sign him up. He automatically need to be
right,
in the program. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so
right.
yeah,
So answer me this: do y'all still have parent teacher conference?
yeah, they do. They do got they still have parent teacher conference.
How many parents show up?
Man, it'd be extremely light, man. I done stayed after school at least twice last year.
It
Maybe
should be
like once.
mandatory at this point.
It definitely do, and it need to be more consecutive. You know what I mean? Not just every quarter. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like you said, it should be mandatory. You come in at least once a month and come sit in the classroom with your baby for sure, for
right,
sure. You know what I mean? Just so you could get a glimpse, you know what I mean, of what's going on. Or, you know what I mean? Maybe not in the class fully, but you need to breeze through and look through the door. You know what I mean? Like on
yeah,
a pop-up. You know what I mean? Pop-ups. We need
yeah. Pop up
pop-ups.
on them. Yep,
You know what I mean? Not a day where they least expect it. You know, when they in there in the heat of whatever they doing, you
Yep.
come look through the door. You know what I mean? You come to your baby class, see exactly what they doing.
right.
Let me ask you this, Kalani. Have your mom ever whooped you?
Has she ever what? I'm sorry, you cut out.
Whooped
She ever whooped me?
you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Have your daddy ever whooped
No.
you? Okay. And you feel like you didn't need. Well, obviously you didn't because you turned out good.
But
Um.
still though, you know what I mean? It's I still had, you know, that I knew that every action had a reaction and that bad, you know, things. If I did the wrong thing, it would have a consequence. You know what I mean? If the teacher let
Yeah.
my mama know, you know what I mean. So I knew I should be on my best behavior, and I knew that when I chose to do the wrong thing, I knew that it may or you know I may have a bad consequence to this. So it definitely kept me on the path of being weary, and you know what I mean, and knowing to shy away of the bad energy. You know what I mean that it come across for sure.
So, what would you tell parents? Because you're dealing with these kids every day. How would you tell parents to approach these kids? Because you can't go to whooping a child that's 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? How would you say to approach them? You looking like
I say because I mean I'm just for since we on live, man, I'm gonna just say go through their phone. I feel like you should just go through their phone. You know what I
you
mean? And just
find out everything you need to know.
Yeah,
exactly. You go
Yeah.
just go through their phone. You know what I mean? Let it build up. You know what I mean? And just like a detective, just like the DEA. You know what I mean? Let it build up and then just go through everything and see exactly and question it and have them talks that I feel like a lot of parents are scared to have these talks nowadays too, like these certain conversations. You know what I mean? Address that. You know what I mean? Don't look at it and say, "Oh no, bad, bow." No, address this is wrong right here because of this, and you know what I mean. Like that's how my mama You know what I mean? That's how my mama would be. You know, it's bad because this is why. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
can't. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't. I'm not doing this because I just want to punish you. No, you know what I mean? Like, I want to. You're supposed to learn from this punishment. You know what I mean? You're supposed to learn from this
Right.
consequence. You know what I'm saying?
This is helping you for the future.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Because when you older and you 18 and you do whatever you do,
There's consequences and repercussions.
big consequences and repercussions and no mercy. So
Yes.
So let me ask you this, nephew. Did you see yourself where you are now at 23, or do you feel like you ahead, or you feel like you behind?
um, that's a good question, man. Uh I guess I would say I'm behind. You know what I mean? But I definitely pat myself on the back for a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. You know what I mean? With my career and how I'm progressing and the things that I've accomplished and the things that I'm getting myself into, you know what I mean? I'm only going up, you know what I mean? So but I still feel like a lot things that I me being lackadaisical in the past really hindered a lot of stuff that I'm doing right now that I could have been doing. Maybe I could have been doing it on a bigger scale. You know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of why I say I'm behind, but you know, other people may say I'm on track, you know, or I'm ahead, you know what I'm saying? So maybe
Don't be
that's the
so hard on yourself. There's always room for improvement as long as you
correct.
know that.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. You basing that off of somebody around you, or you basing that off social media, or you looking at your parents?
I'm basing that off of just I guess that's just self-reflection, you know, is in growth.
You just know you could have did more.
Correct.
Okay, okay, that's real.
You got to be honest with
Yeah,
yourself.
that's the only way I would really accept that. Well, I accept whatever you say from you because that's what you own. I
Mm-hmm.
respect it. But when you say it like that, so your personal, this a personal uh I guess you kind of praising yourself and saying, look, personally, I know because I feel the same way. At 49
Yeah,
years old, I know my potential.
Right.
correct.
You know what you can do. And
Correct.
that's why
Yes.
a lot of times people say point our fingers at a lot of outside forces. And I'm like, you quit lying, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White man
Yeah.
ain't did nothing to you personally. I know you. I watched
Right.
Yeah.
your whole life.
Right.
Exactly.
White
Right.
Exactly.
has not done anything to
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
personally.
We
Now, I
got
ain't
to cut.
saying-
Yeah. Our people as a whole got to cut that out.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
we know it's things and times and dealing with the police and things like things happen, but as far as our own accountability, like it's we got to stop that, you know, because it's hard for Chinese people, it's hard for Arabs, it's hard for people that come out of the country. Like, man, not even just people coming out of the country. Like, man, I wonder, like, sometimes, man, people get out of jail and they,
yeah. You do
they
real.
Yeah.
level up so quick, and you be like, man, like you
Yeah.
been like, so it's just about,
I know a couple of them. It's embarrassing how much.
yeah, it's like, so
Yeah,
it's about your mental and what you studying and stuff. So what do you think is the thing that we can get the YMs to learn more? Like, what would be the tool to help them? I know one thing is money, but I'm saying, what do you think to get their mind off of just switches and backdoor and being slime and all that? Like, what can we do to
you would have to
help them
censor the
stay
music.
focused? What you say, bro?
You would have to censor the music. Ain't
True.
no other way around it.
Yeah. I was gonna say like if none of these rap guys who pushing this, if Future don't host a whole conference where he talk about what he about to do and how he about to change everything and how he about
Yeah.
to bless the community. It's you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and how he about to just switch the whole everything up. Then it's
Right.
probably never going. It's not going. You know what I mean? You gotta really, like I said, you gotta be in the. You gotta be boots on the ground. You gotta be front line in they face with it. You know what I mean? Showing them that it could be done different ways than how you see your favorite rapper or how you see these guys who crashing out, these YNs, these guys on Instagram who claim to be popping it. You know what I mean? Like you could. It's,
Nephew, that was something I told the because I was OG in the film school. Everybody, what's up, OG?
yeah,
So I know that statement that bro said earlier, like that is true. But and they would talk about Future and stuff like that. I said, man, one of the first people that put me on stage with him was Future, you know, and I kind of get mad at Future because he don't do all them drugs he rap about.
exactly,
He don't do
exactly.
none. He don't do none of that. And I try to tell these kids, they always trying to find some drug and do this. They listening to the music and they believe in it. But I'm just like, no, man. I met this man several times. Like, he don't do none of that. He about his money. He about his money. That's all he care about is the money.
For sure.
So when they're trying to follow and they say we're gonna do this and we're gonna take a line of this and we're gonna do this and we're gonna pull up and all that, a lot of that, man, is smoke and mirrors. So I think they don't know the difference between entertainment and what's reality, you
Yeah,
know.
Yeah.
And then you got to look at the bad things too. A lot of the ones that are actually doing it, they die. We lost a lot of, you
yeah.
know,
Or in
music
jail.
Yeah.
or in jail. That's a whole nother thing. Like, it's a gateway to jail or to die. And it there's no disclaimer on the music and stuff. And I think like what you said, parents need to really look at how their kids operate with that cell phone.
Yeah.
Because if we can't control what the kids are learning, anybody's gonna be their teacher. It's gonna be
That
somebody
part.
outside their house that's their hero.
That part.
And the hero should be at home. I can hear how great you talk about your mother. That means a lot. I
Yeah.
can hear how great you talk about your uncles,
Yeah.
that the village.
Yeah.
We need that.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
That's gonna be that first line that's gonna keep you out of jail. Because they talk
Yes.
about the um, preschool to prison pipeline.
Man, it's a real thing.
Yeah, where they know how you do on a third grade test,
Yes.
how many jail beds to build. They
Right,
already know
right.
based on that test.
And they building private prisons now.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you something, nephew. Like I said off camera. We talked about this podcast where this man and his nephew are having this podcast, and the young guy said, "If I would have knew I was coming to a poor family, I wouldn't even been born." And I want to ask you,
Damn.
That's
and,
crazy.
and the uncle said, because we're so masculine and heterosexual in our as our generation, we real heterosexual, and we have, you know, and we'll bust your head.
We'll bust your head wide open.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because that's
So
what I was thinking.
so what he said was, and if I knew that you was gonna be this ungrateful, I would have shot you when you was born. But the
You're
point
not
of
supposed
the
to
matter
say
is,
that.
we sometimes feel like y'all are ungrateful. Y'all haven't been through nothing, but
Mm-hmm.
y'all think y'all have.
Right.
Your mama watching, and this is a safe place.
For sure.
No judgment
Yes.
here.
For
We gonna
sure.
keep these.
No head busting either.
Yeah, no head busting either. So,
No, not at all.
do you feel like we are disillusioned and we kind of stuck in our ways? And as you know, even for me, you be
Uh-huh.
honest with me. Do you feel like talking to us, we kind of stuck in our ways, or are we the ones who you feel like need an adjustment and a tune-up in our mindset to the new world? or do y'all need to more so be quiet and listen a little bit more? What do you think?
I definitely feel like I feel like we need to listen more because in a sense like it's all new to everybody, you know? Everything's changing so rapid, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like everybody not learning it all at the same time. Why don't that? And that's the problem. We ain't working together. You know what I mean? So I feel like if we was to, you know what I mean? If a lot of more of us, like I said, it's too many bosses. So if a lot of us let these people lead, these, you know, some of y'all who know stuff, you know what I mean? Like, then I feel like it'll be an easy it'll be an easy process for us all to transition and get what our, you know, we have our own ways. We'll move in unison. We'll move as one. You know what I mean? Because we know we got past experience. You know what I mean? Everything is just history repeating itself. You know what I mean? So it ain't nothing to, you know what I mean, see something and be like, oh, we ain't, somebody seen this before. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
let my man's, you know what I'm saying? Let him or let her. So
Well, but we feel like, do y'all truly feel like we leading y'all somewhere? Because most of us work 9 to 5 jobs. We, especially like in Detroit, most of the, not most, there's a large amount of people in Detroit who are below the poverty line.
correct.
These adults, these 50, 60-year-old adults.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's a place you even want to go?
Excuse me.
Do
That's
you
the thing
want to
with me.
follow us?
That's why I feel like me is different because, and even for that whole choir class of that 2015 choir class, like for Miss Key to take us out and see all of that, you know what I mean? It had our gears turning and kick started something that we probably had no intentions on even thinking about because we were so close minded. You know what I mean? We were so, you know what I mean? Like we didn't know anything. All we knew was to be in some true religions and and learn the next rap song. You know what I mean? And that's all that it is now. You know what I mean? You got to be in the latest fashion and know the words and be doing exactly what that song is living. You know what is preaching. You got to do that. You know what I mean? And we seen it a whole different type of way. Like we was there. We went Hollywood, you know what I mean? And we seen everything that a kid probably dream of seeing. You know what I mean? Like being on TV and being around Disney and all of this stuff. So it was possible. So we ain't have to think to do something to do something bad to get, you know, to get a greater good. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So I'm saying, like, so
Yeah.
That's key. We need to shine a light on that.
I feel like a lot of these kids need the exposure. They need somebody, and if they can't get the exposure, they need somebody who is getting the exposure to come and like and express that to them and show them that it could be you could, you don't, you know, they don't gotta. That's why I say if Future was to, even though he preaching these, he's selling his music, you know what I mean? If he was to be more in the community and show them that it's possible to follow your dreams and be with the little kid and you wanted to be when you grow up, that you could do that, you know what I mean, and still be able to listen to this music, you know what I mean? You don't got to be a follower. You don't necessarily have to be a zombie to the sound, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm trying to get the kids to understand, that you don't have to be under the influence. It's like a drug. Like I'm saying, you don't have to be under that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that.
yeah.
How was it working for you? Like
So a
are
lot of
you
my kids, shouts out to my man Dakota, man. It was an eighth grader last year. He called me all the time, man. And he recently showed me his report card, and he trying. I see he's getting his grades up. He ain't he ain't no 3.0 student, but he definitely putting his best foot forward. You know what
right,
I mean? He definitely changed from eighth grade to ninth grade with all of the rah rah and being extra and the childishness and being a victim of this poison that they pushing, you know what I mean? I see he trying, you know what I mean? Even though that it's slowly, but it's surely, you know what I'm saying? He's staying on top of his football. I know he really into that. I seen him out in Florida at competition. I'm like, that's what's up. Keep going to Florida, dog. Don't you ever miss a trip there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so he definitely been just sticking to what he into, which is that football. So I love that. He at Southeastern, you know what I mean? So I'm always checking up on him and making sure he send me his grades and stuff with it and what he got going. But
So I want to be a little transparent.
yeah.
You just recently had a situation with your job.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you want to. Well, I didn't brought it up. So
Exactly.
yeah, you had you had a situation with your job where you feel like you were wrongly uh, terminated.
Yeah.
How did you? What? I'm sure that was stressful for you, but how do you deal with that type of stress? And then we'll kind of go into it because this is
Um,
one of the reasons for me wanting to do this show because I wanted to talk to you, but I wanted to make it a little more exciting than me just calling you and saying, "Nephew, I heard what happened. This is I want to yeah." And once I
yeah.
got a new job, I say, "Okay, yeah."
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. So
job too.
so my so you said what? What you say you cut out?
Congratulations on your new job.
Thanks, appreciate that,
yeah.
man. It's a
Congratulations
new
for
endeavor,
sure.
man. Behavior technician, man. So we definitely about to get this rocking and rolling, man. So I'm glad to be a part of the Centria team, man. So yeah,
Okay.
shouts out Centria, dog, out there on the edge of Dearborn, man. But yeah, though. So in the education field, uh, man, it's at will, dog. And I was like, I seen it coming though, man. I seen it from a mile away though, cause
Don't we all?
I seen it from a mile away, man. My homeboy, uh, not to make a long story short, my homeboy he actually working at another alumni school that me and him went to, and he just got fired from there. Before I got fired, before I even got let go, he had got let go, and he came looking for a job. I'm like, dang. I'm like, you just had your own office, like all of that. Like you was he was motivating me. I was like, oh yeah, I want to do that. I'm going hard. I'm gonna go hard. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, what happened? And he just told me like, a lot of differences, man, and just a lot of opinionated stuff and all that, blah blah blase blase. But with my job, yes, at will, dog. It's just it could be for any reason. You know what I mean? They called me in the office and they said it was allegations that they can't disclose to me because it ain't gonna be on record. And I mean, it was real funny business, dog. I had my mama on the phone, man. My mama was on the phone right there. Before I walked in the office, I made sure my mama was right there because I'm like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, because I don't do nothing. I've been at that job for 3 years, dog. Ain't nobody ever called me. Uh, all I ever what I ain't never changed up. I've been the same Kalani since day one. Since I walked in there, I've been smiling. I've been jolly. I've been playful. Everything. But ain't nobody ever called me in the office. I ain't never got rolled up. I passed all my observations. They would come and observe me in class, man. They would come observe me like 3 times out the year. Like they would do big observations on me with points, and they add up at the end of the year, and that would determine if they call you back for the next year. Shit, deep. It's deep stuff, deep. So I was passing that. I was making sure I was on that. Like I was really going crazy because like I was really liking what I do. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, you know what? Kamiko worked there. Oh wow. Yeah, Miss Butler.
oh man, they did that to all of us. Oh man, see what I'm saying? That's what see, man. So dog. So listen. So yes, I was all the only thing that I could ever have. I feel like I thought I would have got fired for was being late because I was always late. You know what I mean? But like I never got wrote up for anything. Like I was always getting congratulated. They put me in talent together that I'm going through right now. They about to put me. They put me in a program to elevate my life, and then told me leave. Like they had
Yeah.
just gave me that. They just had a big shout out ceremony for me at the last like a month ago. It was at the meeting. Like they had a big, shouts out to Mr. Brown. Like, everybody clapped me up, shouted me out, told me what I was doing. Like,
You know what? Sometimes your light is too bright too.
man, that was the
Yeah.
weirdest thing. It
Because
was so
you see
weird.
how animated he is. This is the way he is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I
He's
was the
not
same way in at
controlling,
work.
huh?
I, I never changed up. That's why they kept me on the Dr. Klein, Dr. McLeod. Shouts out Dr. McLeod, because she the one who kept me on the team. She kept me on the team a long time ago. Like
Yeah.
we gotta have Mr. Brown back. Like that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like I had real big dogs advocating for me. Like
And see, he resonate with the young people. You see what I'm saying?
And this
exactly.
is what we need. We definitely need someone like him that know how to talk to the youth, that is a living example
Yep.
of bettering his life and advancing in life, where they can see him advance in life, and that would make them want to do
Yeah.
more.
And they can see
Exactly.
themselves in him.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
So to take him out the
mm,
equation is now they got to start all over, and they not going to. They can never get another him, you
yeah.
know,
It's crazy.
and that will hurt children.
Um, so yeah, we talked about feeling like whether y'all want to follow us or not and all that kind of stuff. If you had to grade our generation and if you had to grade us on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give us?
From my personal perspective, I would give y'all a solid 8. You know what I mean? Like a solid 8.5, excuse me.
That's real.
Because uh I mean y'all gave it all y'all had, man. My mom put it, blood, sweat, and tears. My mom ain't have a mom, you know what I mean? So it was a whole bunch of ways that it could have went wrong. It was so many ways that it couldn't have went right. You know what I'm saying? So like the fact that my village stayed together and they kept, you know what I mean? Everybody, the people around me who molded me, you know what I mean? They stayed on their mission. You know what I mean? They didn't, my uncle ain't never disappoint me. My mom ain't never disappoint me. My dad made
Yeah,
sure I came to Cali every year. He ain't never disappoint me. You know what I mean? So, they always lived up to what they had to do. You know what I mean? So they already had made the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? So,
So what you having children, what type of environment do you plan on having children?
uh, I don't know.
Hey,
I
Tanya,
don't
you hear this?
I don't know. I don't know.
What makes you reluctant to have kids?
Cause these women, man, it's this is not this type of podcast though. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
tell us more.
look,
Because
I'ma
we
just
have
leave.
we have a different perspective on our generation of women. Tell us about your generation of women. What's going on?
Man, they just too, like I said, this social media, man, it's a poison, man, and the fact that it show people lives, it's raising this imaginary unrealistic bar so high in the sky. It's just like I think these women think that that they could, at least my generation of women think that they could, like, I don't know, build a man, like go buy that guy, like I don't even know, like it's so like tainted, like it's just overly toxic, like it's just like ridiculously like, man. it's just like, man, these women, man, my generation of chicks, bro, you gotta bring like so much to like to you gotta buy the chick, bro. You gotta buy the chick. I'm not about to buy the chick. I'm just not about to buy the chick. Like it's just not about to go like that. But this is not even. I like. I could just go on and on because like these women like then you get a then they see Ari Fletcher, then they see
Who is that?
they got Haley Bailey. You see
Okay.
how she doing DDG right
Money
now.
bag, yo, ex girl.
You know what I'm saying? You got it's just all of these girls. They get a Birkin bag every week. They get a Benz. They got push presents and have a baby get a Benz. They got it's just like I don't. It's just like it's so like it's just like super
They
like
don't understand
Instagram,
that's
bro.
1% of
Like that's literally like so like
yes,
bro.
yes,
Like it's on the scale is so small.
yeah.
Like you never get that. Like your life and you never get that. You never get that.
And Ari Fletcher is not even with the guy that bought all this stuff, right? Correct? She's not even with Moneybag Yo no more,
I don't
right?
even know. But I know she get a gift every time she got a dude. She getting gifts all day. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like
You
it's
know
just
what we used
like
to call that back in the day?
What
It
a sack
starts with a P.
pimp. Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
The other part, the other P.
yeah.
yeah. For sure, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
So
know,
um, do you have any relationships around you that's positive, that's working in your generation?
so far as the female uh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's working. You
Okay.
know, because it's just so when I tend to when I feel like I gotta pop it and go outside and you know what I mean and just be in my glow like it's just like these women come with stuff, man. Like they just like you got Zeus, right? You got
Oh
these
yeah,
the
right.
baddies and all this, so they feel
Yeah,
like it's always everything got
Terror.
to be a dramatic
yeah,
episode every night, all night, every day.
Yes.
Do it again, like
yeah. You can't just because I remember a time when we just went over to the house, sat on the couch, watched movies,
Yeah.
went down and got some ice cream. Uh,
Play cards.
yeah, we played cards. We went over people's house. It just wasn't. We in a new world. Like they
that
dealing with.
ain't a date. Hanging out, just being around a person, that's not a date. You know what I mean? You got to
Yeah,
go to Zuzu and ball out, then go to the club and have an after party and have a room, and you got to drive, sweet. Don't forget your ride, and you got to be
you got to
fresh. You got
dress.
to be super fresh,
Yeah,
and you got to be able to do it 2 more nights in a row. So I mean, like,
yeah,
it's
I
just
don't blame you. Stay away from them and focus on yourself like you've been
exactly,
doing.
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Focus on you. You are the prize, bro. You
For
are
sure,
the
for sure,
prize. Don't ever forget that.
Well,
for
I'm
sure, for
sure
sure.
some people would disagree with that, but let me say this.
I'm glad they would.
Well, what I'm saying is, so we know a good woman is a prize.
For
We know
sure.
that,
Come
but
on.
we also this is the point we always miss. We always tell the women they are the prize, but nobody tells the young men they're the prize. That's why I'm telling him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, I
You
got
know?
you with that. What I'm saying is they control sexual activity, we control marriage.
Yeah.
So we already know at the end of the day, don't nothing happen without.
Women can go outside and everything happen for them. They don't got to do nothing. They can just go outside and the world is going to be given to them. They're going to get the benefit of the doubt.
No, they say
They are
they
going
say
to
they
get
got it hard, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
they're going to get the benefit of the doubt. They are going to look. Somebody is willing to be that paymaster.
Yeah,
How long it's going to last, that who knows?
yeah,
But for a young man like him that's doing good, he's helping the youth, he's building. He's not being around a bunch of different females. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to find good men right now. It's plenty of women out here.
For
It's
sure.
plenty. They're everywhere, right?
For sure.
But a good man,
Yeah.
we can see what's going on as far as good men.
Nephew.
Yo.
So if you say you're not having no you don't plan on having no children no time soon.
No.
Good job.
I remember a time where well, I ain't gonna say that. It was a time where this dating thing was non-existent. Like I don't ever remember my grandfather taking my grandma on an extravagant date, and they was married 56 years.
Right.
I don't remember that.
Me either.
Right.
Do you ever remember your granddaddy? Now he brought flowers. My granddaddy did bring that, but my granddaddy was so he would bring the birthday card, and he would let whatever it said talk to her. He wouldn't even write nothing on them. I used to find his cards that he gave to her, and they never had nothing on them. I could use them again. But they weren't really super romantic. That didn't exist until K Jewelers and all these jewelry companies created that whole mindset in the women.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
They call them the De Beers family.
De Beers started that whole thing.
They created that whole thing.
Yeah.
And I had a female friend of mine tell me that our first date, I took her on a coffee date, right? She told me if me and her hadn't had if we didn't know each other from back in the day, that wouldn't have sufficed. I couldn't have took her to a coffee date the first time. And I'm like, so is it about the money?
Right.
He said, no, it ain't about the money, but I want to know that you put some effort in it.
See, that's it right there, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. That's exactly the thing that I'm saying right there. It's that situations like that, but it's like abundance of those. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like with a whole bunch of other circumstances, but it's that. It's the root is that right there. How is that not effort? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you not taking me out of town the first weekend, like, I can't. You ain't. That's not. You ain't enough. I don't think you got it. You might not have it.
She said that she spent a lot of money on her makeup. She said she had one palette that she spent $150 on. And she said, you want me to get dressed in all this expensive stuff that I pay for, and then you're going to take me down the street to the coffee shop? I said, well, I'm glad that I knew you, because I wouldn't have took you. We wouldn't even been getting to know each other. Exactly. But that's not because I don't feel like a woman is worth that. But I found out she liked coffee. I said, what's the best place? I like coffee too.
Right.
I think a coffee shop would be one of the best places I could take you.
Where you can go talk, have a real conversation.
Have some coffee and some you know,
break the ice.
Break the ice. Yeah. You know, but
and coffee is not cheap no more.
I mean, it wasn't no expensive date, but I'm just saying.
No, what I mean is coffee used to be a nickel. It's what, $10 now?
You spend
you spent $10 on coffee.
But that's not the point of this conversation. But basically, you saying that you don't want to have children right now. You're not even trying to be that serious with a woman. You focusing on your career,
right,
and building yourself.
That's the main goal. Now, if I meet a woman and we build a friendship where I know she got my back, you know what I mean? Like, people don't even like see, like, my generation ain't even being friends no more. Like, it ain't even like I thought it was stages to the, you get to know somebody, you know what I'm saying? Then you be like, okay, I think I want to make this my girl, or I think I want to make this my boy, you know what I'm saying? Like, so nowadays it's just like you just hopping, you just straight, you know what I mean? But you don't even know. You might not. It's so many times where I done been like, it's just it be stuff you just don't like about a person. You don't know yet. You know
Get
what I
me out
mean?
of here.
Yeah.
Get me out of here. Get me.
And yeah, and that's from a man's perspective. Like
Yeah.
sometimes we know, but the women are basically saying like, well, why you even keeping me around? Because you know we will do that.
Mm-hmm.
If we got access to that woman, we'll keep her around, even though we know she probably ain't it, but we will keep her around. And that's the thing what they saying, like, okay, well, let me go then.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that.
Okay.
But if we still got access to her, we're gonna keep her there,
Exactly. It let
knowing
you
she
go.
can't
Let's talk
graduate.
about let me go then. Go then.
Well, you not telling me to go, you still calling me over at night.
Oh no. See now, if you doing that, see you put that. See, I done got to a point where I'm so honest. You see what I'm saying? Because I just can't even. You know what I mean? I done got so. Because that's how you gotta be. I was just telling my homie this morning. I'm like, you bull crapping. Because if you keep on lying and lollygagging, you gonna pull your hair out, dog. I'm telling you, dog, you might as well just give it to her overly raw. Like, it's this. And if she decide to stay, you got every right to do. Like you can't even blame her. You can't even blame yourself no more. You know what I'm saying? Like you take that out of the equation. Like
So you
I,
say,
I just
you'll tell her what it is to a degree where if she stay, she just want to get dog walk.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's the only way to go. You got to.
You still wrong for that in their eyes. Because you shouldn't even touch her if you
That's
don't
why
want.
that's not my girl.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You doing the best thing, focusing on you. All you can do is be the best you, and that lady will find you. That young
Yeah.
lady, the one, and if put it like this, learn from our mistakes. If it's not the one, if she not willing to go the distance with you, then don't even waste your time.
No.
Focus on who really likes you. See,
Yeah.
a lot of times we look at the package and what look good, and we think,
And
hey,
we go for the one we want versus the one
right,
that wants us. But
Exactly.
listen, I tell people all the time, we want candy too, though. So if you
yeah,
gonna be candy, you want
yeah,
some candy too.
right, true.
So it's been people in the past that might have liked me, and you know, but I still want some candy just like you. I can see how you treat me when you take me out the wrapper. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to peel some stuff off a wrapper too and be excited.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's got to be a blend of both.
it got to be a blend of both. I ain't saying ain't because I'm down there 50 years old, so I ain't gonna be fresh out the package. But at the same time, I want candy too. So don't be mad at me if I go look at something else because you ain't trying to. I ain't gonna say you ain't trying to be candy. I'm gonna say this ain't your candy time. Maybe ain't your time. You know, but
Yeah.
moving a little forward, man, because we've been on here almost 2 hours. I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask you. So your guys, the people you hang out with, like Nick. Really, I don't even want to talk about them personally, but I'm just saying, do you find yourself making sure you stay around? Because they say you are the sum of the 5 people that you're around. Do you feel like you one of the smartest in your? This might not be the best way to word it either. Are you making sure that you're around people that's gonna elevate you and take you out your comfort zone, or are you kind of around people who pretty much at the same level you or below?
Uh Definitely this what it is right here. I'm cause I so yeah, they below. They for sure below. Like my homies, like my homies is my homies, and I love them to death, and I would tell this to them in their face. But they not doing, my homies not trying to go to school. They not trying to get no credentials under their belt. You know what I'm saying? That's just not what they trying to do right now. You know what I'm saying? Like they probably, want to they probably got a car that they trying to make super cool. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It could be
Yeah.
anything. You know what I'm saying? So like that's cool. So when I wanna, if my homeboy got a nice Hot Wheel car and I wanna go around there, and I feel like seeing Hot Wheel cars today, I'm gonna go over there. But I ain't over there all the time because that's all he wanna do. He don't wanna level up, but beyond his car or whatever,
Yeah.
make his life fun or whatever he brings enjoyment to him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm around my guy. Like I said, I'm big shouts out to Seaworth. I'm around guys who building these connections downtown and with the fashion industry and with the make cars and all of these film directors, these up and coming young guys who hosting these events and having big turnouts and just being different, you know what I'm saying, and making and pushing something that ain't the norm, you know what I mean, and doing it the right way, you know what I mean, ain't hurting nobody, or you know what I mean, harming anybody in any kind of way, you know what I'm saying, verbally or anything, you know what I mean. They on all type of peace, you know what I mean, and making and being cool and art, you know what I mean, and being artistic
And messing with women.
all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty women
That's
all
what we was
around.
on. We was on cars and women. And I ain't gonna even say education was at the top of our because it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It was, we was Dave was living by himself at how old was you, Dave? You had your own house at what?
15.
15.
Yeah.
So you
Oh
gotta
man,
imagine us young with access to all that privacy at 15 years old.
I could only imagine.
Yeah. So the fact that we graduated was
Yeah.
because we had people we didn't want to disappoint.
It was hard.
You know what I'm saying? We just had people we didn't want to
But
disappoint, just like
and we hustled, man. Like me and bro, we hustled, man.
yeah,
We knew what we had to do for ourselves and for our grandparents, and to make sure that we were gonna be productive in life. But man, we did everything, man. Cut hair, fix cars, sell stuff, rims, audio systems.
yeah.
We had
We our hand
multiple
at
different
everything. Yeah,
jobs.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It was just like, if my car wasn't working right, we're gonna drive his car.
yeah,
If his car wasn't working right, we're gonna drive my car.
yeah,
And it's a brotherhood.
yeah,
It's what it's all about. About
yeah.
keeping your loved ones close and advancing.
yeah,
See,
Correct.
we still to this day, we just never can settle. Like, it's
yeah,
settling is just not an option for us. We know we're supposed to have more than what we have now. And a lot of people say, hey man, y'all doing good, man. Y'all, he's in a whole total different place. I'm in a whole total different place, but you see, we still bring it back together. And we bring
Correct.
it back together with you because you are the future. This all really was for you and our daughters, and you know what I'm saying? We want to see
Yeah,
y'all advance. Where y'all gonna take it? Because if we doing all this, what we leaving it behind to y'all. So y'all gotta
yeah,
carry the torch,
yeah.
you know?
My nephew getting sleepy. He go to sleep early. He gets sleepy.
And he swear he always know when I'm tired of
Listen,
something,
he
man.
done fell
He
asleep
know
in the
you.
studio, bro. He done fell asleep in the studio. I'm talking to him. He just,
Yeah. Oh,
I said,
I love
nephew,
the
wake up.
music too, by the way. I'm a big fan of the music. I want to say that from the beginning, man.
Oh, thanks so
You
much,
are a
man.
true artist. You got it honest, man. You're
Yeah,
very talented, man. Never stop that.
For
yeah.
sure, for sure. I'm
Never
always,
stop
I'm always on the craft, man. I'm always perfecting it, man.
So yeah, in closing, man, I wanted to say first off, man, thank you for coming on the show.
Of
Uh,
course. Thanks for having me, man.
thanks for coming on the show. We're gonna do this from time to time, and you're gonna basically be our correspondent with the young people because they're gonna be younger, and you know how to deal with them better than we do.
Yeah,
it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Be younger, and they're not gonna be in our family, and they're not gonna
Right.
be from where we come from, and they
Correct.
might
Yeah.
be on whatever.
Yeah.
So you might have to come in and you just kick it with them and kind of be the buffer in between the OGs and the
Most deaf.
YNs. You feel what I'm
Most
saying?
deaf. Most
And
deaf.
y'all heard it here first. We changing the narratives. We doing YMs and YLs, young men and young ladies.
Yeah.
For sure.
We trying to leave the YNs and the YBs behind. We don't
Overly.
need that.
Overly.
Now, I'm not
Excellent.
saying that you can't go and trademark that though, nephew.
What you mean?
The YN.
The what? Right.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah.
You
You
heard
said
that here first too, because it's probably still out there.
what the trade? You said trademarking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He giving you game.
yeah.
Most deaf.
But yeah, most definitely. And if, for anybody that's watching that see this, if you got some young people that you feel like need to be on this forum, we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna let y'all know when we're gonna be doing this again. It just depends on Dave's schedule, and if we, because I need nephew to be here, because
Oh yeah.
he's just that bridge, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. Like our generation, some of us is scared of y'all.
I'm already knowing, man.
Soon they see you, bro.
I'm already
So
knowing.
just know that. We don't trust y'all.
For
And
none.
that might be our fault. I ain't saying it ain't our fault. We look at you, y'all. We see scammers. We see y'all in the shiesty masks and all that kind of stuff, and
The hoodies all day.
hoodies all the time. In the and it's
Even
hot
the
outside.
females. Even the females got hoods on all day.
And we don't understand y'all. Y'all pants low. Y'all want to show y'all Ethica underwear, and you know what I'm saying. It's just we just like, damn, we messed up real bad. But talking to you, we did a great job with you, man. So
Oh yeah.
we did a
Most
great job
definitely.
with you. And a lot of this is just who you was gonna be anyway. So we can't take all the credit. God,
Oh yeah. Most
you
definitely.
came out of your mama, but you are God's
Thank
child.
you, God. Yeah,
Yeah.
all praises to the
Yeah.
Most High.
All
Thank you,
praise to
God.
the Most High for sure. For sure.
Most
Yes.
definitely. So we appreciate y'all coming on the show. Everybody that came to watch, that commented. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and we're gonna do this again soon. I'll let y'all know. Shout out to Kalani. Shout out to Dave.
Appreciate you, bro.
Oh yeah,
Tycoon.
most definitely, man. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna check out of here. And what I say, look, keep disrupting, keep setting the standards high, and y'all keep supporting. Peace.
Love.
Yeah, y'all. Thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna post this at some point, but if you want to watch this back, it'll be on the live tab in the Pattern Disruption Podcast on YouTube. I'm checking out, y'all. Have a good Sunday. Be with y'all family. Be blessed. Peace.